is also important for us to help young Singaporeans after they leave school and after they finish ITE, poly or university. Not everyone does well in school. And we have to try to make sure that you have ladders to success, regardless of where you start after you leave school. Regardless of where you start after you leave school, we must provide a ladder to success. And it can be done. Even if you have not done well in school, we have to provide the ladders to allow every Singaporean to climb the ladder to success through their own efforts, as well as through the support of their employers and through the support of the government. Every time I visit a factory, every time I visit a restaurant, every time I visit a hotel, I find young Singaporeans who are taking advantage of opportunities to improve themselves. You can tell when you meet them whether they have the attitude. And you can tell immediately those who have the right attitude are improving, learning, taking on more responsibilities, and their pay goes up. Just yesterday morning, I was attending a conference at Grand Hopkong Hotel at Havelock Road. And while I was having coffee, I met one of the hotel staff. And when I was leaving the conference, I met another of the hotel staff. So I was talking to them for a short while. And both were examples of what I'm talking about. Two ordinary Singaporeans with an attitude. An attitude of wanting to learn, to improve, to upgrade, and they're seeing their job improve year after year. I will show you the first of the Singaporeans. I met two of them yesterday morning, so I got their photograph, and I will have them on the screen. So this is the first young man I met, Ferdaus, 30 years old. He started working after ITE, first as a part-time waiter, then he became a full-time waiter. His starting pay 10 years ago was $1,200. Every year he's been upgrading. He wants to take on more responsibility. He went for WSQ courses conducted by WDA. And recently he joined Grand Hopkong, promoted to assistant banquet manager. His pay is almost twice what he started with 10 years ago. 10 years ago, 1,200, now almost twice. And he's still improving. Then the second young man I met on the way out from the conference, I'll show you his photograph. Brandon. Brandon, age 31. Also started as a waiter. Also didn't do well in school. In fact, he started at age 18 as a waiter. Worked for a while, then he decided to go for diploma studies in hospitality because he wanted to stay in the hotel line. Took 3 years off, studied, came back, joined Grand Hopkong in 2005. Same story as Ferdaus. He had accumulated a lot of knowledge in the diploma program, but on the job, he kept improving and taking on more responsibility. Today, he's a banquet manager. Starting pay 12 years ago was $1,100. Now, almost 3 times higher. They didn't want me to mention the exact pay, so I'm giving you a rough figure. Almost 3 times higher. Ferdaus, Brandon, ordinary Singaporeans, but with an attitude. Attitude that all of us can have. Keep learning, keep improving, take on responsibility, and inspire your colleagues. And the pay goes up. This is what every Singaporean can do. Even if you don't do well in school, there's a ladder to success. And we're going to make sure, as employers, we provide those ladders for all our workers. We still have in Singapore too much emphasis on academic credentials, academic qualifications. Still too much emphasis once people leave school. And we've got to make sure we provide ladders to success for everyone, including those who do not do well in school. And there's more work to be done in this regard by the employers and by all of us as customers and as society. We have to pay more respect to blue-collar workers. Pay more respect to them, give them them pride in the job, pay them well, and help them to progress in their careers up to the highest level. There is no limit to how high they should be able to progress. So that is what we have to do to help our young scientists. We also have to help them to own their homes. And this is something which is quite unique in Singapore. Because in most countries, they provide assistance to the low-income group in many different ways. But in Singapore, we provide it by helping them at work and helping them to own their home. In most countries in the world, the lower income group, in fact not just the bottom 20%, even the bottom 40 or 50% of the population, they don't own their homes, they rent their homes. So every month out of their pay, they have to put aside money for rental. And rental can be very expensive. In the United Kingdom or in London, the cheapest one-room flat you can find, the cheapest, is in a district called Newham. In fact, it's quite close to the Olympics village, about 4 or 5 km away from the Olympics village. One-room flat, one-room, not flat, one room, no flat, just one room inside a brick shed. Singapore dollars, $300 per week, $1,200 per month. That's the cheapest. So a lot of their pay goes towards paying rental. And we must never let that happen in Singapore. We must keep a culture where everyone wants to own a home and gets to own a home. And that is why we have increased our subsidies for housing very significantly. And many people in the older generation may not be so familiar about this. If you are low income, you now get $60,000 in housing grants. $60,000. Middle income, you get $40,000. What can you do with the $60,000? Two-room flat, the latest price I looked at in Sengkang earlier this year, $100,000 on average for a two-room flat. $60,000 government grant, so you pay only $40,000. But you don't have to pay out of cash. You get a loan, a subsidized loan, and you pay entirely out of your CPF. Because the monthly CPF payment for the loan is about $200. If you buy a three-room flat, how much does the three-room flat cost? A few months ago in Choa Chu Kang, it was Kim Hong Pride. Kim Hong Pride, three-room flat was about $138,000. Minus $60,000. Remainder is $78,000. Again, use of CPF to pay off the loan each month is about $400. Some cash out of your income, but mainly out of your CPF. The big difference is, by the time you retire, you own a home. You've used your money to service the debt, and you own the home. And they can decide to downgrade from three-room to studio apartment. They can decide to sell their house and to rent, but it provides a very valuable asset for our low-income group, so that they too can enjoy the long-term appreciation in housing prices. So this is a unique system, and we have to keep it going. Help everyone get a job and climb the ladder to success. Help everyone own a home and see their house appreciate over time, so that when they retire, they have assets, just like other people. They have assets. That concerns our young, but we must also help our old. Our older Singaporeans, particularly those who used to have very low pay in the past, when they were young. We are providing them more help. Their main concerns, those who are still working, many of them have pay that is too low. Secondly, they're concerned about their healthcare costs. And we're doing something about both of these issues. Pay too low and healthcare costs. The group of elderly who have the lowest pay are the cleaners. And we've got to give them a fairer deal. And everyone has to be involved. It's the employers, as well as those who are buying the cleaning services. The companies that are buying the cleaning services to clean the commercial premises, the restaurants, our schools, even government departments. Everyone has to play their role. We've got to give them the equipment, help them to upgrade their jobs, and pay them better. And we're determined to do this. We will use a tripartite approach to upgrade their jobs and pay them better. And the government will take the lead. government, as a buyer of cleaning services, will take the lead to ensure that the cleaner's job is upgraded and they get better pay. We will be able to achieve this. Secondly, we're going to help them not just through higher pay, but we're going to continue to help them through workfare. And workfare is something which many Singaporeans still don't realize how large it is. Each year, we give workfare automatically to 400,000 Singaporeans. How much is it? On average, $2,000 each year, which is a 20% increase in their incomes for a low-income family. For a low-income family, it's a 20% increase coming from the government. In fact, if you include the part-timers who also get workfare, it is almost a 30% increase in the pay of those who receive workfare. So we will support older people, support the poor, but most importantly, we must allow their pay to increase by raising productivity and improving the quality of their job, and treating them with respect. Healthcare costs are a major concern, and we're doing a lot more to help our elderly. In this year's budget, we made a major move to increase the subsidies for Singaporeans, especially older Singaporeans, not just in the hospitals, but outside the hospitals. Every form of long-term care, many of you know, Awapan Mall Societies here, many of you know. We've increased the subsidies significantly, not just for the low income, but for middle income Singaporeans. But I think we must also improve how we deliver our policies and our subsidies. Because many Singaporeans are still not clear about what they can benefit from, and especially our older folk. Many of them are still worried about their healthcare costs. And we will find a way to improve how we deliver our subsidies, how we explain to them how much they can receive, so they don't have to worry so much. Medifund, Medishield, and Medisave, 3Ms we call it, can take care of the needs of the elderly. We don't need to worry so much. Recently, I was doing a house visit, and I met an elderly gentleman and his wife. They were staying alone, husband and wife, quite elderly, and he was very worried about medical bills. In fact, he was so worried, he said, "You better not go back to the hospital." So I asked him, "Why are you worried?" So he said, "Oh, the last time round he went, it cost $10,000. So I was a bit surprised because he's not well off. So I asked him, please find me the hospital bill. So they went to look for the bill and they brought it. And I looked at the bill. What the bill showed was that first it was $6,000, very expensive. Not 10,000 or 6,000, but still quite expensive. But if you read the bill carefully, this is what it says. In fact, after the subsidy, $6,000 became $2,900. I think he had a stroke, and for the stroke he had to spend some time in hospital, so the bill was $6,000. After subsidy, $2,900. Then his daughter, who was doing okay, she contributed through Medisave $700. So the remainder is $2,200. Then Medifund, the government's Medifund, was used to helping. Medifund paid $1,900. So the final bill was $300. Not $10,000, not $6,000, but $300. But this elderly couple did not know. And I think it is partly our fault for not explaining these things clearly enough. And we will do a better job. We are going to make sure that we explain this very clearly and make sure people don't have to worry about their medical costs. If you have difficulty, Medisave, Medishield are there. If Medisave and Medishield are not enough, Medifund is there to support everyone who really needs it. So healthcare costs can be taken off. So frankly, friends,